Arcane is a masterpiece. I feel pretty comfortable saying this now more than a year after its release. It has continuously got nothing but praise from critics, and I have, with the exception of a single friend of mine, never heard a single person say they disliked it or thought it was bad. It was one of the best shows of 2021, and a resounding success. So it is not at all surprising that Riot and Fortiche, the animation studio, immediately set out to make a second season. Everyone who watched season 1, including me, is excited about the second season, and there have already been multiple videos talking about and making theories about season 2. What will the plot be like, what new characters, perhaps even new champions will appear, where will Victor's story go, Vi's story or Heimerdinger's story go now? All interesting questions that I too would love to know the answers to. However, this video will not be about Arcane Season 2. The folks at Rito Games already confirmed that Arcane Season 2 will be focusing on the same characters. It will be the continuation and ending of all the different character arcs started in Season 1, which, in a show as deep and nuanced as Arcane, doesn't mean we know exactly what will happen, but have a general idea of where the show will go already. However, the good folks at Rito also confirmed they are looking into stuff beyond Arcane, exploring different settings, different characters, different plots set in Runeterra. And that is precisely what this video will be about. A speculation on what cinematic goodness we will get from Riot and Fortiche after Arcane, and how it could tie into Arcane. For the purpose of this video, I will assume you know nothing about the lore, but have watched Arcane, so two things need to be mentioned. I will spoil both Arcane and some champion stories in this video that I need for my theory crafting, and while Riot said that they are looking to merge their different universes into one consistent canon, it is very much possible that some major events in the canon universe do not happen in the Arcane universe, and my theories are therefore a complete waste of time. So keep that in mind. Disclaimers out of the way, let's get into it. Do you still remember Mel? You probably do. She was a pretty important character to the plot after all, if a bit hard to figure out. Do you also still remember her mother? The Giga-Chad lady that was introduced in episode 8 and brought news of Mel's brother's untimely demise at the hands of a mystery man that at this point has as many potential identities as I have undiagnosed mental illnesses and is apparently still after her family, which prompted Mel's mom, Ambessa her name, to seek out Hextech weaponry to protect her family. As Ambessa is from Noxus, a ruthless expansionist empire that threw ideals out of the window and will use anything to kill enemies, be it magic, swords, guns, or in this case, magic guns, it is very fitting indeed for her to pursue Hextech weaponry. But wait. Noxus will use anything they can to defeat their enemies. That's why they seek Hextech. So far, so good, but aren't we forgetting something? We are. Hextech has its poor, purple, arguably inferior and more unstable, but undoubtedly further down the line of weaponization and much more liberally used twin, Chemtech. Or so it is called in lore, essentially Shimmer and so on. So why do we not see any instance of Noxian interest in Chemtech, be it from Ambessa or another Noxian character? After all, it would make perfect sense for her, or any Noxian leader for that matter, to want to get her hands on both, especially considering how much less regulated and controlled Zorn is. Well, it turns out the writers at Riot thought so as well, and this is where we get into League lore territory instead of only Arcane. Because Noxus has been paying Zornite scientists and chemists for various weaponry and drugs to use in their many wars for years now. One of said scientists, to beautifully bring it back to Arcane, is Singed. The guy who helped Silco make Shimmer, who gave Victor advice, and who was seen in the last scene of the last episode with a body that is likely Warwick hanging from his ceiling. But now you can probably see where I'm going with this. Sinch needs money to finance his experiments. Where does he get it from? The Noxian war effort, or so my theory goes. To go into more detail on what I think specifically this means, I think that Warwick will be a major plot point in Arcane Season 2, which is more or less confirmed by his howl in the teaser for Season 2. And the one who created Warwick will be, just like in League lore, Singed. I believe we will get a flashback of sorts explaining how Warwick became Warwick, in which we will see Singe dealing with the Noxians to finance his projects, but no further explanation of what the Noxians did after that. Instead, we will follow Singed on his way to create the monster, as that is relevant for Arcane Season 2. However, The exact same flashback could then, to perfectly tie my theory together, be used as a starting point for a new series, focusing on one of Noxus's many wars, or more specifically the Noxian invasion of Ionia, which is a huge war in the lore where Noxus, unsuccessfully, tried to annex the continent of Ionia, a spiritual land full of smaller communities but without a central government. And of course, I didn't just randomly pick any war Noxus fought for this theory. The reason I assume it to be the Ionian invasion is because it is 1. A fairly recent event, with current League lore time being roughly 7 years after the end of the invasion, and Arcane Act 1 to Act 2 featuring an unspecified time skip that has to be at least 7 years. 2. The Ionian invasion being the war with the highest usage of chemical warfare, or more like the only war that has seen some serious chemical warfare and weapons of mass destruction. And 3. Many interesting and nuanced champion biographies from Ionia feature the Ionian invasion and Noxus' unconventional warfare tactics in some way, making it a perfect setting to explore characters such as Yi, Irelia, Yasu and Yone, Wukong, Swain, Riven, Talia, Zed Shen, Kain, Akali, or even our favorite psychopath, Jin. I personally would love to see their take on something as serious as a war and the horrors it brings with it. And knowing these characters and stories already from League lore, I would love to see them animated in quality similar to Arcane. But I can also see how the story of the Ionian invasion, being full of war crimes, child soldiers, torture, weapons of mass destruction, and just generally every evil you can imagine, except sexual crimes, since Riot seems to be steering clear of that entirely, could be too spicy and too experimental for a second series. I would love to read your own thoughts on this matter. Do you think my theory makes sense and will happen? Do you think we'll get something entirely different after Arcane? Would you even want to see Noxus Ionia content, or rather something else entirely, like Demacia or Targon? I would be happy to talk more about possible future series, as well as Arcane itself, in the comments. Also, if you liked the video and want to see more videos like this, I would be happy if you subscribed and liked the video and all that YouTube crap. I will also be live on this channel, so if you want to chat with me directly, you can catch me live every morning and evening. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.